Now we're going to create a solar study using Revit. Similar to practices earlier, I'm going to duplicate this view and I'll rename it by right-clicking on the view. I'm going to call it 3D 4. Before I can jump into any settings, what I want to do is tell Revit where I am in the world. So let's do that in the Manage tab. Manage, and in the location area, I can set my location. And here I can just type in, so I'm just going to type in the address of BCIT here. You can put in any address that you like. 5700 Willingdon Avenue, Burnaby. Once Revit finds where I am with the mapping system, I can zoom in, and if I want to adjust it to exactly the building that we're in, I can just move it over and drop it. And then press OK. So Revit now knows where we are. Most times when you're drawing plans, you set north as straight up on the view. In this case, north may not be exactly straight up. Maybe the street is at a slight angle. So if north is not the same as straight up, what I would have to do is rotate true north and tell Revit which way the North Pole is. So in this, let's go to the roof plan. In the roof plan, we're going to go to Properties and switch the orientation from Project North to True North. Now in the Manage tab, in that same area, I'm going to rotate True North. So I click Rotate, and in this practice, we're just going to set it to 15 degrees east and press Enter. It looks like we rotated the whole project, but if I switch back to Project North, it goes back to there, and if I switch to True North, here we are. So True North is something you normally use in a site plan, while everything else is set to Project. So now we have the location, we know where roof is, or north is. So let's come back to our 3D View 4 and adjust some of the settings. So the sun, we control the sun right here with sun settings. So I would like a still, and this still is going to take place on, let's say, June 21st at 2 p.m. Once we have the settings that we want, date and time, we can save those settings. We're going to call this one 21st of June, 2 p.m. And then press OK. Now we have that saved to use in the future. I'm going to press OK. Nothing appears to have changed, but of course we'll have to turn on the shadows to see where the sun would be. Now let's try a different time of the year. So sun settings. Let's see what it's going to be like on September 21st. So before we do that, select the one you just made and duplicate it. We're going to call this one 21st of September at 2 p.m. And then now let's adjust the date to match, September 21st. There we go. So that one's September 21st. This one, let's just make sure that we left it on June 21st. We didn't accidentally make a mistake. So there we go. Two different settings. So if September 21st is selected and I press OK, the shadows now move. Because the sun is lower at that same time of day, our shadows are going to cast further. So that's how we would have a still. And now what we want to do is show the sun path. Right here with the sun, we can turn on the sun path, and it'll give us a graphic of where the sun is at this time of day, which way north is. And we can click and change the time of day right here, and the sun would move over and the shadows would move over. And we can do the same thing with the date if we want to move it to a different day, where the sun would be a different day of the year. Well, let's put that back again. So that's a single one. We could also do this as a multi-day. So with the multi-day, I go to my settings, sun settings, multi-day. And this time I'm going to set it sunrise to sunset from January the 1st until December the 31st. And then I press OK. Oh no, sorry, I got to save it. I'm going to save this as Jan to December hourly. Press OK. And you can see the sun, and it's a bit easier sometimes to see this as shaded. You see this one right here. That's the color of the sun, where the sun will be, and throughout the year. And what I want to do now is export a solar study. I could preview the solar study here, but it really leans on the hardware, and this computer is not quite up to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, Export a solar study. And with the solar study right here, I do want to include my date and timestamp. And then for the frame rate, let's just bring it down a little bit. This really leans on your hardware, so I'm just going to bring it down to 5 frames per second. Maybe even 3. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Right. Let's change that to 30 frames per second. So even then, it's going to be a 2-minute video. So hopefully this will work out. So what I'll do now is I'll pause the video and then run this, and I'll see how it goes. So after 20 minutes of recording and exporting that video, it didn't work. It ended up in a 4 GB file that wouldn't work. So what you need to do is possibly set it so that instead of sunrise to sunset, I just set it to something close to 9 a.m., just 1 hour a day. So I didn't go through the entire day, I just set it to 1 day, and then export that in the same manner. What you'll end up with is a video that looks similar to this. So you can see the frames at the top left of the video tell you what date and what time of the day and where the shadows are going to fall. This file again ends up being very large. That file is almost 1.5 gigabytes. So that's the kind of thing you'd want to upload to YouTube or some other video platform and then send to your client. That's how you'd set up a solar study and export it.